Welcome to this explainer. Listen, right now, if you log on to any forum or scroll through tech news, you are going to see two completely conflicting, almost dizzying narratives about studying computer science. On one hand, you hear absolute nightmare-level horror stories about the job market. But on the other hand, you're hearing about massive, completely life-changing entry-level salaries. It's confusing, right? It's making a lot of people seriously question their choices. So today, we are going to do a deep analytical dive into the actual hard data for the class of 2026. We're cutting through all the online noise to answer one specific question. Is a computer science degree still worth it? Okay, let's dive into this. To understand what's really happening out there, we first have to look at the massive tension in the market right now. If you're a student, maybe a parent, or someone considering a major career pivot, you are likely feeling extreme whiplash. Half the internet is screaming that the degree is totally dead, while the other half is simultaneously hyping it up as the only guaranteed way to get rich. And we literally have two completely opposed data points representing these warring internet sentiments. Over on the doom side, we've got a really scary 7.5% unemployment rate for recent grads. But then, on the hype side, we are seeing a massive $82,536 average starting salary. Now, our goal here isn't to pick a side. We're just going to impartially look at the numbers, because as you'll see, the actual 2026 data reveals something much, much deeper than just simple doom or hype. Section 1, the brutal job market. Let's analyze the scary 2026 data. So, what's really interesting about this 7.5% figure is the context behind it. Reporting in 2026 puts recent computer engineering and computer science grad unemployment right at this 7.5% mark. To put that into perspective for you, that is actually higher than several non-technical arts majors right now. Yeah, you heard that right. That golden safety net that used to be permanently associated with studying tech, it seems to have completely vanished for a pretty significant chunk of graduates. And this data brilliantly illustrates exactly where those safety net jobs went. Just take a look at this massive drop-off. A few years ago, new graduates made up roughly a third, around 32% of all hires at the biggest tech companies. Today, that number has quietly collapsed down to the single digits. It's sitting at roughly 7%. Those massive junior hiring pipelines at the biggest players have practically evaporated overnight. The whole junior to senior pipeline, it honestly looks more like a dripping faucet now. But, it's not just unemployment that's the issue here. This is a staggering statistic. Over 40% of recent grads are categorized as underemployed. Think about what that actually means. We have tons of degree holders out there who spent 4 grueling years studying complex algorithms, and they're now working jobs that don't even require a college degree in the first place. So if you were to pause this explainer right now, and please don't, but if you only read these bleak numbers, the 7.5% unemployment, the massive drop in big tech hiring, the 40% underemployment, well, you would logically conclude that the computer science degree is entirely worthless in 2026. But as an analyst, I have to tell you, looking only at this gloomy side of the data leads to the completely wrong conclusion. Which brings us to Section 2, the endearing financial value. Let's look at the other side of the data. In the exact same year, looking at the exact same broader data set, computer science is actually tied for the single most in-demand bachelor's degree among employers. Roughly 2/3, so about 66% of surveyed companies are actively planning to hire CS grads. So the demand definitely hasn't disappeared. It's actually still dominating the broader economy outside of just those few big tech giants. And when those grads do get hired, the payoff is still enormous. The reported starting pay for software-focused graduates is still sitting around $82,536. That remains one of the highest starting salaries of literally any college major available today. So yeah, the money is absolutely still there. So the crucial point is captured perfectly in this quote from the source material. The degree didn't lose its value. The market lost its easy mode. This completely resolves the cognitive dissonance between that brutal hiring market and those massive salaries. The reward is as high as ever, right? But the path to actually get there has fundamentally changed. Section 3, the 2026 paradigm shift. This is the structural change that almost nobody is talking about. We really need to redefine the computer science degree for 2026. It used to be the finish line. You got the piece of paper, you got the job, it was that simple. Today, the degree is the floor. It's simply the foundation. It is the absolute minimum requirement that gets you into the room and into the conversation. But it in no way guarantees that you cross the finish line into a lucrative career. Let's see how this builds into employer expectations. Get this. Reporting from 2026 shows that the quote-unquote junior of 2026 now needs the system design understanding that a mid-level engineer possessed back in 2020. The bar for entry has been raised significantly. You have to know how systems are built on day one just to be considered a useful entry-level hire. And the reason for this massively raised bar is a harsh, totally objective reality of the modern corporate world. Companies stopped training juniors from scratch. The era of getting hired with basic textbook knowledge and spending your first 6 months essentially learning on the job while collecting a massive salary, that era is over. Employers simply aren't willing to build a junior engineer from zero anymore. So if the degree just gets you into the conversation, what actually closes the offer today? Well, the data gives us 3 specific proofs that a graduate absolutely needs. First, real shipped projects. We're not just talking about classwork here, but actual things you've built and put out into the world. Second, comfort with AI tools. AI is completely reshaping entry-level work, and fluency here is non-negotiable. And third, system design understanding. You need to know why systems are built the way they are. You have to combine your degree with these highly actionable skills to secure the job. All right, Section 4, the final verdict. Is a CS degree still worth it? The reality boils down to this entirely. If you are going to just coast through your classes and expect a 6-figure offer to magically appear just because you have a piece of paper, that market is dead. You will very likely end up in that 7.5% unemployment or that 40% underemployment bucket. But if you use the degree as leverage, if you build a portfolio and master AI tools on top of that academic foundation, it pays off better than almost anything else you could possibly study. I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful analytical thought directly from the data. A CS degree in 2026 is still one of the best economic bets if you treat it as a foundation, not a finish line. It is an incredible tool. The actual value of the education hasn't gone anywhere. It's just demanding a lot more from the people who hold it. So, looking at the reality of 2026, the raised floor, the absolute need for AI fluency, and the end of the easy mode job market, where do you stand? Are you in a CS program right now, or are you maybe reconsidering your path based on this data? Take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I read every single one, and I'd really love to hear how this structural shift is impacting your own career plans. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.